Welcome to our new e-services video. We're going to start with Mr. Marumu Modiba. He's the Senior Manager at the Corporate Education and Voluntary Compliance Unit. You will be telling us a little bit more about CIPC.
Greetings to you all. CIPC, which is Companies Intellectual Property Commission, was brought into existence by the Companies Act 2008. In terms of Section 185, subsection 1 of the Companies Act, the Commission is established as a juristic person to function as an organ of state within the public administration, but as an institution outside the public service. CIPC, it's a very innovative organization which is led by a very innovative leader, whereby we are always encouraged to make service better and better. We are responsible for various legislations. Amongst them, key, it's our Companies Act 2008, and we are also responsible for the Co-operatives Act, as well as the maintenance of the existing close corporations. CIPC is also responsible for intellectual property, innovation and creativity in the following domains: patents, design, trademarks, and copyright.
Our next presenter is Deon Kuna. He will be presenting an overview of a new e-services system. Over to you, Deon.
Good day, colleagues and clients of the CIPC. I am about to introduce you to the new e-services platform. In the introduction, I will cover the major features that we have introduced in the web platform, which are features of enhancement to enable you to interact with the CIPC better. I'm also going to orientate you on the service stack of the new e-services platform, looking at what are the services that exist in this platform. We want to talk a little bit about the payment solution and the feature services that you're going to roll out in this new e-services web platform. So how did it come about? The CIPC has began to automate these services a while back. As you know, electronic services, they come out of life and business requirements change over time. The CIPC thought it useful a few years back to look at modernizing its web technology specification with the intention to enhance the delivery of services to its clients. So we conceptualized a modernized platform which led to the new platform that you're talking about today. Also, the experience of CIPC clients informed us on how should the CIPC deliver services better to its audience. And the CIPC also endeavors to standardize its services, that is, offering services in a uniform way across its channels and across its client base. So that information also led to the conceptualization of this new e-services platform, and also the need by the CIPC to integrate its services for ease of management internally, so that we are able to resolve issues, any issue that is reported by clients to the CIPC. And we are also enabled as a CIPC to add new features which are simplifying or enhancing user experience to our audience. So the major introductions onto this new e-services platform that you should expect as clients is how you access the system, how you get authenticated into the CIPC web platform will change slightly. Currently, you are compelled to use a customer code which the CIPC generates when you register as a client. But as from Monday, the 1st of March, after the date in which you have envisaged to roll out the new e-services platform, you will be required to use your email address as a username onto the web platform. But your password remains the same password that you were using to access the old electronic e-services. So under the username or in the username text field, that's where your email address goes. The password is the old password that you currently use together with your customer code to access the services of the CIPC. Please take note of that. And another major introduction is on first login onto the new electronic e-services or web e-services. You will be forced to update your user details. So that will be your landing page. You won't get lost. After you are successfully authenticated by the system, your landing page is a page that requires you to update your personal details. And the other thing, currently, as you know or might know, that on the old e-services platform, you are able to use declining balances. By that I mean the current method is you go to ABSA, deposit money, it gets allocated to your customer code before you are able to perform any transaction on the old e-services platform at the CIPC. That method of payment is being phased out. Going forward, you'll only be able to use card to pay or to interact with the CIPC. So the new e-services platform has taken that into cognizance. It doesn't allow you to use declining balance. You can only pay for transactions with card, in line with the mandate to decommission the declining balance. So you should take note of this. There are, as I've mentioned earlier, that a measure, one of the factors which contributed to the development of this new e-services platform is the need for speed. So, or enhancing user experience of our clients who are performing transactions via our web platforms. So we have enhanced a few services. We should be able to get a name in real time after paying for that name. So an email is immediately dispatched to you. Also, you should be able to register a company instantly. So, meaning while transacting with the CIPC after payment, you should be able to get your company registration certificate. So, not all services though are meant to render in real time. There are delays, there are time lags because certain services require approval by CIPC back office staff. That's when you will have to wait for a transaction to complete. But even that, there's no transaction or process that's going to be queued unattended to. So when you're still waiting for something, you should know that someone is looking at it. It's only a matter of time before you complete that process, and communication will be facilitated via email. Like I said, email as your username. The main objective is for you to be able to communicate to you smoothly. So you should be anticipating for delayed services to receive communication via email, meaning when you transact with the CIPC, keep on checking your emails for updates on how far the transaction or the service request that you have made is. Documents are also downloadable on the new e-services platform. after login, you will see a service like we're gonna discuss shortly. I'm gonna navigate, orientate you around the new e-services platform so you know where to find what. But the documents generation is one of the services that you have added on the new e-services platform, so that you don't manually request for a document with the CIPC, but you access it from the new e-services platform itself. As mentioned earlier, payment on the new e-services platform is going to be facilitated by card. So you're going to be able to use your card, debit card, credit card, to pay for a transaction. We are also planning to introduce new payment options. The next one under consideration being retail payment, and lastly, the EFT payments. So these payments will be bolt onto the new e-services platform throughout the new financial year. And declining balances are decommissioned. Let me take this opportunity to orientate you around the new e-services platform. After login, you will see the displayed menu structure. Home, that's where you get your profile. See your profile, you can update it there. But the system default landing page is the home page, which contains your personal information. And you can click on any of the menu structures to navigate to other services. So all your services are located under the services menu. So for starters, from the 1st of March, what you'll be seeing is name, reservation, company registration, cooperatives, and the document service. The document service is a service that enables you to re-download certificates. Bearing in mind that after completing a transaction, a certificate will be dispatched via email to your inbox. But should you lose that certificate, you're able to come back and download it from this service, from this menu option. And therefore, you'll be able to do your name. Of course, you'll be able to do your company registration and your primary cooperative. And then subsequent to the release of next week, Monday, that is the 1st of March 2021, we are planning to release further services. One of the services being director changes or company amendments. You should be able to go to the amendments menu option, and then you'll see all the related services under amendments. But the first one to go in there will be changing of directors. So therefore, that's gonna be followed by the modification of company details and all the amendment services that you are currently familiar with or you currently have access to on the old e-services platform. From financials, that's where you locate your shopping cart. Also gonna be able to perform your annual returns in there. There's a new service that the CIPC has built for suppliers that are currently contracted to the CIPC. So that should be it will be a service that is useful to them, because they now are able to submit invoices through the web platform of the CIPC. Why have we implemented this service? To facilitate the government requirements to which compels all government departments to pay suppliers within a period of 30 days. So this will enable that all contractors of the CIPC invoices are paid within the recommended government timeline. Authorization. We will have a session in the future where we are introduced to this feature of the new web services platform. So for now, I will pack it lest I confuse you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dion. Our next presenter is Christa Klauku. She's a Senior Manager of a company and CC unit. She will be discussing name reservation as well as the new company registration on the system. Thank you, Christa.
Good day. My name is Christa Klauku. I'm the Senior Manager responsible for companies and close corporations here at the CIPC. And as from Monday, the 1st of March, we released 2 services onto what we term the platform New e-Services, which is short standard name reservations as well as short standard private companies. So my 2 presentations are going to deal with those 2 items. So let's dive in. Names. So for the first release on New e-Services, it will be standard name reservations. What we mean by a standard name reservation, it's a name reservation application without any supporting documents. What we current release does not include associated name reservations, name extensions, defensive name reservations, defensive name extensions, or transfer on names. If you want to do a transfer, defensive name reservation, or a name extension, you can still utilize that services via the existing platforms where they reside. As we progress with our releases of services onto the New e-Services, more and more of these different services, like the associated name reservation, name extension, will be released on those platforms. And as we release the other services onto New e-Services, there will be communication via the CIPC website regarding those releases with the relevant dates. In the meantime, what will happen is that we will run New e-Services name reservation in conjunction with all the other existing channels that we have for name reservation, which is e-Services, the mobile app, banking, our banking portal, as well as BIS portal. So just a few tips on using the new name reservation functionality. Before you select or indicate your proposed names onto into the relevant field on the online screen, it's advised that you conduct a free trademark search at that IP address and also a general browser search via Chrome or Google. What this actually means is that, or the benefit that it has, is that you can go and check whether this name that you're thinking about is actually being used either as a registered trademark or on the internet as a business. Also, remember that businesses on the internet is not always registered business in the South African context or any other jurisdiction for that matter. So please go do a search to see what is available and what not. Then submit 4 proposed names and then search the availability after capturing each proposed name. So you type in XYZ Trading, you set search, and then it will say whether the name is clear or whether any suspected problems on that name. Also note that why we want 4 proposed names on a name reservation application is that name reservations, there's no guarantee that a name is available when you're submitting the proposed name, because we have to do a back office search to see regarding its availability. And also it gives you some options and leeways because the application itself is a non-refundable transaction. So you will pay your 50 Rand regardless as to whether your names are available or not. So when you do your proposed name search, the service will indicate whether the proposed name contains any forbidden words. Forbidden words are words containing forbidden words for which you cannot submit. For example, the use of our president's name and surname is forbidden words. You're not allowed to use it. So-called prohibited words. Prohibited words are words whereby additional evidence is required in order to show that you've got a permission to use it. For example, any wording that connects or gives the impression that you're an organ of state or other regulatory body. Any words that contain profanity. That is basically swear words or words that is of offensive nature or inciting of violence. And then also it will indicate whether the proposed name has already been reserved or used by another user. Again, there's no guarantee regarding the availability of names. When you do submit your name reservation, it's only upon CIPC confirming at the back end and issuing a notice regarding that the name reservation was approved, that it is approved. Again, it's a non-refundable 50 Rand fee. So please put in your full names, give some options. Due to the competitive of names, you may not necessarily think it, but names are very competitive and people usually fight over names. And because of that, we deal with a first come, first served basis when it comes to name reservation. And in order to ensure that your application is first, you must pay. And the payment therefore must be received at 12 o'clock at midnight, the day that you submitted the application. Otherwise, the whole transaction will be deleted and you will have to restart it over again. The system only for new e-services only allowed for card payments. The other channels use other payment methods. So new e-services is only card payments. Please note it is far easier and quicker. You submit your name reservation or a whole bunch of name reservations. You make one payment for that list of transactions. It gets paid and the transactions gets released in order for it to go to the back office for processing. So why did we do or move name reservations to this new platform? It's to improve the search accuracy and speed efficiency, because a large part of the name reservation process is automated. If your name reservation falls part of the automated component, you will get your notification almost immediately. If it doesn't form part of the business rules surrounding automation of your name reservation, it will be referred to the back office, and that may take a little bit longer because we only work office hours and not weekends as well. Names approved via new e-services can only be used on new e-services. So if you're planning on doing a company name change, that's an existing company for whom you want to change the name, use the e-services functionality, because there is no functionality yet available for company name changes on new e-services. How you can distinguish between a new e-services name reservation and a name reservation conducted by any of the other channels. A new e-service tracking number starts with a 6. And the other platforms uses a 9. So please only use new e-services if you're planning on doing a cooperative, as well as a short standard private company at this point in time. For all of your convenience, we have prepared some frequently asked questions, and it will be updated as the system progresses and people get more familiar with it, as well as we start getting questions about the new system, we will update the frequently asked questions. It is on our website, and we've also prepared a step-by-step guide on how to use the standard name reservation. Thank you very much. We are now proceeding to short standard private companies. This is the second presentation for short standard private company. So again, just as with name reservations, company registrations are also going to be due in phases. The first phase is the short standard private company. We are currently in the process of developing the short standard not-for-profit, which will be released at a later date as communicated on our website. So one of the main differences about the new e-services company registration is that all directors that are South African citizens, it's a fully automated registration, meaning that you will do the validation, the ID validations on the platform itself. It will validate with Home Affairs. If it matches and the verification is successful, your new company soon as payment is done, of course, is then immediately done. Again, registration is only completed upon the payment for the services. Thus, the longer you take to pay for the service, the longer the finalization of the registration will take. So with the new e-services, speed or how long your application takes is more in your hands than that of the CIPC. So that is for South African citizens. If your application consists out of directors or a director that's a foreign national, you will be required to upload the certified copy of the passport of each of the foreign directors that you have indicated. Please note its certification, it's the standard certification and no older than 3 months. The back office will then look at the documentation, see whether the certified passport meets our requirements, and once that is checks out, they will approve the application. You will then receive a notification to do the payment. This is now totally different than what currently runs on e-services, because with e-services you pay up front. With new e-services, you pay after all the processing components have been completed. Again, registration is only completed upon payment for the registration. And again, registration or how long this application takes is in your hand, not the CIPC. Once you have prepared or submitted your information or your documents, please don't email it to eservicescoreg@CIPC. We are currently phasing out the mailboxes. So as we progress and release newer services on new e-services, we will be phasing out the uploading or the emailing functionality to the various mailboxes. Please note that we are picking up that clients, they do a BIS portal, new company registration, or a new registration via the self-service terminals. They still email us the documents to eServicesCoReg. It gets picked up by the older system. And because there is no real validations on the email mailbox or very limited verification, it ends up being processed again and it causes data challenges for us. So please, if you've used an automated channel for registration or new e-services, it is not necessary to email any documentation to us. Not the signed documents, not the approved documents that is issued after registration. The new version of on new e-services also allows for what we call a simultaneous registration, meaning you'll be able to submit your new company information as well as your name reservation on a single application, and then it gets referred to the back end for processing. Please remember, it looks like one application for you, but it's still two different business processes on the CIPC side. So it will first go to name reservations. Once the name reservation component is done, the information will switch over into the new company registration business process, and it will follow the last processing steps. One of the big changes that's also required on the new e-services is that directors will be required to validate their electronic contact details before proceeding to the next section of the service. Basically, what this means is as you type in the director information, the cell phone number and the email address, the system will ask you to confirm that this is the contact details for that specific director. And it will be regarded as the domicilium information for all notifications issued by the CIPC to the company. Therefore, it is extremely important that directors do not put information of a family contact details of a family member or the intermediary or of a fellow director. The system is also built in such a way that directors, if I was a director and you were the other director, you will not be able to put my contact details on, and I will not be able to put your contact details onto my profile information on the application. The reason why we're doing this is that we are trying to introduce electronic notification, especially on an annual return and deregistration component. We as an organization spend millions of rands sending registered mail on deregistration to companies and closed corporations that basically just get returned because people do not check their mailboxes. The South African Post Office also sometimes have got challenges regarding order to ensure that it's done efficiently. And a lot of people don't have a mailbox. For example, I don't have a mailbox. I literally don't own a mailbox. If you want to post something, you have to post it to a family member because I just don't have it. But I've got email addresses, and that's where I prefer all my communication to go. So also we as a community are changing that we prefer to receive things in electronic format because it's just easier and far, far quicker. It's almost instantaneous. So you'll be required to confirm that that is your domicilium information, and the system will not allow you to proceed to the next step to provide the information unless that is provided. So the cost of a new a short standard private company is R175, which includes your name reservation. Upon registration, and remember registration requires payment, your memorandum of incorporation will be attached to your registration certificate and that will be emailed to you. The documents will be emailed to the customer who submitted the information, as well as all the directors after registration is completed. Very, very important, the documentation is still the same that we currently have. It will be your MOI, it will be your registration certificate, a welcoming letter, electronic web disclosure that indicates all the information that was provided. You can download, or the customer who submitted the application as well as all the active directors will be allowed to download this registration information or registration pack for a period of 30 calendar days after the registration, whereafter the customer as well as the active directors will be charged a R30 fee for the whole pack of information. So therefore, please speed. If you expect CIPC to be speedy, we also expect that you need to be speedy in your payment, submitting of your information, as well as your downloading of your information that you need in order to run your business processes. Of course, for any other third party or interested party, that information is also available, but it will be a straight fee from the beginning, a R30 disclosure fee. Again, if you're going to do your new company registration via new e-services, then you need to do the name reservation also on new e-services. Again, we have prepared frequently asked questions that has been published on the website. There's the link, as well as a step-by-step guide to take you through as to how the new e-services short standard private company functions. Well, I hope this was insightful, and we are actually very excited about these new services, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay. Then we're going to move to our next presentation, which is about primary cooperative registration. And our speaker will be Mr. Vuyani Nkogla. He's the acting senior manager at the cooperatives unit. You can continue, Vuyani.
Thank you very much, Elma. And I want to take this opportunity as well to thank our listeners wherever they are. As we are taking them through this new development, which is very exciting for us, particularly the co-ops unit. I'm not going to bore you with the details as the previous presenters have stated what these services are all about. But our presentation is structured in the following manner. We are going to give you the background of the new e-services platform for cooperatives. And then we talk about the rationale behind e-services platform for cooperatives, the approach that we're going to take, the benefits, and then at the end of the day, we will look at the question and answer. Next. slide. So the cooperatives division joined CIPC from the then Department of Agriculture. And when they came on board, the cooperatives processing has been manual since then. And they found the CIPC having moved, and the CIPC had already started with the automation. And we also want to do the cooperatives and introduce them in the automated space. However, we had some legislative impediments which make it difficult for the cooperatives to be incorporated. And having said above, then we had to look in terms of changes in the legislation. Hence, an amended Cooperatives Act came into effect, and then that is why now we're having this registration of electronic processes for the registration of cooperatives. Next slide. So the rationale behind e-services is that it will assist us in standardizing our services within the organization. And we are doing this because we all know that we are in the fourth industrial revolution. So we want to be in line so that we don't remain behind. And it will also assist in reducing the administrative burden of the applicants. So there won't be any printing of paper bulks, scanned and others posted. So we're reducing that. And it will also assist in the recording of the accurate data and also the easy access of that data. And then lastly, then it also facilitates the compliance to the requirements of the amended Cooperatives Act. Yeah, so the approach that we are going to take for the e-services is that we are going to take an approach that is phased-based. Currently, we have many services that we render on cooperatives, i.e. your change of directors, you have your auditors, you have the registration of secondary and tertiary addresses and so forth. So the focus is that we first introduce these new e-services into the primary cooperatives as a first phase. And then secondly, then we will introduce then the secondary and tertiary and national apex when necessary, meaning that then this will be the second phase because it's a new registration as well. After we have seen how then the people cope and their reception to this service, then thereafter then focus on amendments, and then the last phase then will be the compliance related processes such as the annual returns, filing of reports, etc. Next slide. Now, what will be then the benefits for these e-services? One, it will be quick turnaround times. Currently, people, they have to send the documents and we have to communicate via mail. Sometimes you'll find that others, they are sent by post. There is no customer code that is recorded properly. Now we do not know who to contact. But when we use now these e-services, then we're able to contact each other by the click of the button, and it is easy, and also the turnaround time will be quicker. Number two, it will reduce the typing mistakes from the admin officials because of you'll find some of the applications probably the writing is not legible for it to make a head or a tail of what is written. But when this data is captured on the system, then that data then it will be able to get it as it was captured by the applicant. Typing mistakes. As I've said, actually, it will also reduce the administrative burden. So there won't be huge costs in terms of registration process, printing of paper. You find the constitution probably it has 50 pages. And I'm told that to print just a page in the internet cafe, it's R1. So it will reduce that. And all that then people will do is just to be able to capture the information and upload it and send it electronically. Also, it will assist us in terms of ensuring that our register has available data. And in doing so, then information will be credible. It is the information that will assist in decision making for the relevant stakeholders, so that we are able then to, as a country and also as an economy, to make informed decisions. No, that's fine. So that's the end.
Our next presentation will be about the card payment system that is now being introduced. And our speaker is going to be Mr. Louis Miller. He is from the finance unit.
Thank you, Elma, for the introduction. Without further ado, and I think a lot of people is excited, as we are excited to move into a card platform system. Firstly, as CIPC is committed to customer service and innovation, CIPC will be launching an online card payment facility for name reservations, cooperatives, and private company registration as its phase 1. Now, the card payment solution will allow customers to use the debit and the credit cards as a means of payment. The payment solution will not affect our current transactional processes that allows customers to deposit funds into their accounts, which means the old platform as it is will stay the same. People will still be able to utilize that services. What we're talking about here is when people move or utilize our new e-services, this is what we're looking at, the payment mechanism for that specific services that we will be offering there. The new e-service card payment system, so it allows the convenience for customers to transact anywhere they are. It provides for them a secure environment, so you pay for the services that you only require. In addition, it will eliminate unnecessary delays between the payment of the service and the completion of the transaction. So it's a seamless transaction that we'll be processing for customers. The reason for that is customers does not like normally to deal with the finance guys. They require a service. So we looked at the seamless way and an experience for the customer as such. Now, when we come to the benefits of this card payment system on our new e-service platform, it will allow customers for real-time transactions, which will improve service delivery, unallocated and misallocated deposits, meaning that these volumes of complaints that we've received and the delay for customers to submit an inquiry, to get funds allocated to a specific account, delays them in certain environments. The card payment will allow these things to all fall away. And second to that, it is more convenient. You pay online, you pay at any time, anywhere, and this transaction is secured. Your choice is either a debit card or credit card as a payment method. The transaction is instant, immediate confirmation of payment will be received. And just to note that as the volumes during the past years, 90% of our complaints when we analyzed them came across as a payment complaint. Either the money was not in the customer's account as when the customer wanted to transact, or there was some other reason, the referencing was incorrect, or there was multiple reasons when people complained on that channel. And we thought to look at means to improve that service by looking at the online card facility, meaning there's no more referencing issues. You will never call us for reference. You won't lodge an inquiry for a reference going forward. The payment will be instantaneously loaded as you transact with your credit or your debit card. Now, what to remember, what is very important for us is that only 3D enabled cards will be accepted, meaning that your card needs to be enabled at your normal, which is if you bank at any of our banking institutions, you should ask your bankers to allow you to set up the 3D enabling, which means the 3D and secure provides the customer the security that it is. It allows CIPC also to note that who are they interacting with and that we are interacting with the right person. And it's also to ensure that the customer is protected on those ones. On the other hand, we look at what you need to familiarize yourself with our terms and conditions when accepting, when you're paying with your debit or your credit card. And also that all disputes first will be dealt with at CIPC. The type of cards that we'll be accepting will be, for the first phase, will be Visa and MasterCards. So these are only Visa and MasterCards. And as I said before, these cards should be 3D secure for the protection of the card holder and CIPC as such. The pay-as-you-go model, so the customer pays for services he requires. No more direct deposits, walking into a bank, commuting somewhere, traveling. That is something of the past. And also to provide customers with a seamless and customer experience for them when they transact with us. What we also would like to notice, what we also would like our customers to take note of is that the direct deposit systems will be discontinuing in the next phases. So as you get used to the services, kindly note that the other services will be discontinuing for payments, meaning the balances that you will have going forward, those balances, you will still be able to utilize them on the old platform. Now, normally people would ask, what happens to our balances? And this is, I think the most important for people is that customers will be able to utilize the existing balances in their accounts for other services, except when they register for services on our e-service platform, meaning that balances will be utilized for something outside these services on our own platforms. You will be able to utilize the balances in your account. Then also, normally people would ask, how long does it take for payment to reflect? Customer pays for a service selected and such service reflects immediately upon transaction or transacting. Then also the second question that we see a lot of that we came across with our inquiries with our customers is they would like to know if they can pay for other services by credit and debit card. For those services only on e-services. So you cannot pay for other services except for name reservation, cooperatives and private companies as phase 1 going forward. Then also what is very important for us is that CIPC will be in the coming months close down the payment depository system, as I said before. So start utilizing these balances in your account. Make sure that you utilize them for other services as well, or you may request a refund on the current balance in your account. If you wish to do so, there's a few requirements set out for us, set out for the customer that he needs to submit for us when he's requesting for a refund. So he will submit a request to, he will log in an inquiry, a ticket on our inquiry system on our website. He will provide us with a letter requesting a refund. He will provide us with proof of payment that is made to that account. He will provide us with a letter stipulating from the bank his account details in order to ensure that we are depositing the funds to the correct account. And in order for us to look at the ways where customers can utilize the cash that we're refunding them back to themselves. But I must iterate that says we would like to just note for customers that start utilizing your current balances in your account, as when we roll out the other services, they will also be card driven. So use these funds going forward. I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. We have come to the end of our presentation. I trust that you enjoyed watching it, that you've learned a lot of new things about the system, and it's given you an idea of how it works and what it's about. Please remember to visit our website from time to time and to see whether there are new notices regarding the system, as there will be new ones published as there are new developments. Thank you very much and good day. Bye-bye.